Hi, this is Arthur from the Minute Review Show. If you have a minute, I have an opinion. Today we're on the road to Long Island, New York. When I'm there, I always try to find authentic Chinese food. In my search, I came across Eatery 19, a Chinese restaurant specializing in Taiwanese cuisine. Since I rarely find Taiwanese food outside of New York City, I had to go. When we arrived, we were greeted by the friendly staff who seated us quickly in a nice, well-lit dining room. Come join me and see the vast variety of dishes I tried. You won't be disappointed. Hi, this is Arthur from the Minute Review Show, and today we drove all the way out to Syosset, New York to a place called Eatery 19 Corp. But on Google, it's called Eatery 19, and it's a Taiwanese restaurant. So what we're having is Taiwanese food. There are a couple back in Queens, but we were really surprised to find a Taiwanese restaurant so far out into Long Island. And from the pictures on Google, it looks really good, very authentic, and it looks like stuff that you can get in Queens, New York. We're going to try a variety of dishes, and we were given only a paper menu, even though we're dining in. This is what it looks like. So we chose about 7 items. We're going to go through each and every one to give you a flavor as to what they offer. The menu says Eatery 19 Corp, but on Google it says Eatery 19. We're in Syosset, New York, and the great calling card to this menu is that they offer a choose 3 from the following items type of menu, which means that if you choose 3 items, it'll be $61.50. That will be pretty much a prefix type of menu. Now you can see that they have over 60 items down here. You choose 3 of these and it's only $61.50. All the Taiwanese favorites are here. You have spicy pork intestines, you have 3-cup chicken, you have spicy fried chicken, you have also sliced fish, you have a mapo tofu, you have string beans. So this is a pretty diverse menu. On the other side of the menu we have the appetizers, and the appetizers include the stew egg, stew tofu sheet, just basic stuff here. You have the famous Taiwanese snacks over here, which is the stinky tofu, popcorn chicken, oyster pancake, cuttlefish balls, and down here you have soup. Over here you have fried rice. They have a scallion and egg fried rice that looks pretty good. Over here you have over rice dishes, and they're served with white rice and soup. And basically these are 1-plate dishes, and all of them appear to be $14.75, one price. Now you have a chef suggestion meal. These are all like $28 to $33. These must be the house specials. Then you have the noodles and the rice dishes. Here's your braised beef noodle soup. These are noodle soups. Over here you have what appears to be more types of noodle soups. So essentially from number 65 to 84, these are all noodle soups. The first dish is a seafood oyster pancake. This is basically an egg dish with maybe some flour and some gravy. This is definitely Taiwanese. There's oysters in here. And from what I can see from the left to the right, that looks about 8 to 9 inches long. And if I lift this is pretty substantial. The view is pretty heavy. So I can't wait to give this a try. This is pretty substantial, and it definitely looks much larger than normal. The next dish I'm going to try is the oyster pancake, and this is what it looks like. Now, you can see that it's actually pretty thick. It's about 1/3 of an inch thick. There's pieces of oyster in there, and I'm going to take a piece that's right in the middle. Let's try this. Oysters and egg. So oyster flavor comes right through. It's a deep oyster flavor. Oysters are not gigantic. They're actually the smaller oysters, which is perfectly fine. And take a look at this. You see the rice starch here? That's what makes it nice and chewy. So there's a combination of egg and starch in this bite. Let's try this. Delicious. Now, what I like about that is that it comes with the sauce. The sauce on top of that rice starch and egg gives it a nice, slightly sweet and sour flavor. More on the sweet side. It's very good. It's very filling. That addition of the rice starch makes it filling. This is why people order it, because they like that starch that to make it nice and chewy. Which is stinky tofu, and it is deep fried. I can tell by poking this. It's nice and hard, and it's soft in the middle. It always comes with some pickled cabbage and some pickled carrots. Here's the stinky tofu sauce, which is a soy-based sauce. There's some sweetness in that sauce, and this dish appears pretty big, pretty substantial. It's about $14.75, a little more expensive than other places, but hey, we're in Syosset, so that's probably accounting for that. And it looks pretty good. Can't wait to try this. The first dish I'm going to try today is the stinky tofu. This is the street food favorite that is present in every list of Taiwanese food that you've got to try. Now, if you take a look at this, it is nice and deep fried. It comes with the sweet soy sauce, and let's try this. I can immediately tell that this is really good. For some reason, it's not very salty, but the sauce is really nice. I like that. Now, let's move on. Let's try the pickled carrots and the pickled cabbage. And this is what it looks like. Let's try this. The pickling is sweet and also sour. It has some vinegar in there. What I can say about the stinky tofu is that it's not as salty as I normally think it is, that I normally have. Most of the flavoring comes from the sauce, not from the salt that's put onto the stinky tofu. So it's a little milder than normal, but it's perfectly fine. I like the way that it's been crisped up and fried, so this isn't bad. It has less salt than normal, but still good. We ordered a stir-fried dish over rice. These are all $14.75, and this particular one is the Morning Glory, or the Tong Choi, with the beef, and it comes with a sa cha sauce as the stir-fry base. The next dish is the 3-cup chicken, and look how deep this bowl is. It comes in a casserole, and this, I believe, is a boneless version of 3-cup chicken, if I read correctly on the menu. It's glistening with that sweet sauce. There's basil, and generally that's what this dish is presented as. There's that strong basil-y smell that's coming off. I'm smelling it right now because I'm showing you this. I can't wait to give this a try. Okay, the next dish I'm trying is the 3-cup chicken. The 3-cup chicken is basically 3 flavors of chicken, which is basil, which I believe also is wine, and also soy sauce. I forgot what the other flavor is, but here goes. I think they said that this is boneless, so let's see. It's boneless. It's delicious. It's sweet. When you eat the chicken, there's a slight crisp on the outside of the chicken. I think they may have fried this in oil to make it nice and crispy, but not super crispy, but it has a tiny bit of texture. Let's try another piece to see if I can get more flavors out of this. Okay. One thing that I forgot to add is that there's a ginger flavor to that 3-cup chicken. This is one of my favorite Taiwanese dishes because it brings together 3 separate flavors all poured into one. And it's perfect. It's sweet, salty, and savory all in one dish. And you can eat a ton of rice with this. Not to mention that the sauce is also good for your rice. Whenever I come to a Taiwanese restaurant, I almost always order that dish. Now, if you take a closer look into the 3-cup chicken, you can see that there's scallions, there's the boneless chicken, also there's ginger. So there's so many aromatics to this. You have the ginger, and you have the different types of soy sauces that are in this, and some of the ginger in here is also fried in oil, so you can taste the aromatics of that plus the basil. The next dish that we ordered is the beef noodle soup, and this is a famous Taiwanese dish. Some people consider this the national dish of Taiwan. So from what I can see, this appears to be some type of beef tendon. No, it's not a beef tendon. Actually, it looks like a braised beef shank, judging from the quality of the beef. Here's a noodle dish. The noodles are the white noodles. They aren't the vermicelli type. They're the full-sized white noodle. They also have some preserved vegetables. So those are 3 components: the noodles, preserved vegetables, and the what appears to be a beef shank. The next dish I ordered is the famous beef noodle soup. This is what it looks like. And as you can see, this bowl is huge. It comes with a broth that is not clear. It's full of beef. So it's definitely not a clear broth like a Vietnamese pho. So let's give this a try. First, a taste of the soup. Okay, the soup definitely has a strong beef aroma, and there's the right amount of saltiness to it, which I really like. Okay, now let's try the noodles. Now they give you plenty of noodles. These are the wheat noodles. Nice, soft and chewy. Not super chewy, but chewy. You can taste the wheat flavor to these noodles. It soaks up that beef broth. That beef broth is very concentrated. It's not a clear broth, as you can see. And finally, we're going to try the beef. Now, this beef I think was braised because it looks like it's the shank, a beef shank. I think I can tell because there's like small pieces of fat in the middle and it feels kind of tough. So if they did the braising right, this would be nice and tender. Let's give this a try. Very nice. I like that. What's interesting is that the part in here doesn't seem to be fat. It seems to be more tendon. So when I'm chewing it, it's chewy. There's a little crunch to eating this. The beef itself is nice and soft. Wow, there's a lot of crunch in that. And it's picked up the flavors of the beef stock. This is delicious. I like this. I took a look in my bowl and they provide 3 pieces of that shank. Not bad at all. Next we have the pork Taiwanese sausage. Now this comes in a very nice reddish brown color, and it comes with some garlic. It's a pretty small portion. I think it's considered an appetizer, that's why it's smaller, but looks pretty good. Okay, the next dish I'm going to try is the Taiwanese sausage. Now, if you look from afar, it looks like a kielbasa. Looks like a Polish sausage. So let's see what this tastes like. There's a good amount of fattiness in this. It has a very spicy flavor. It's almost tastes like 5 spice, and definitely Chinese flavors. It's actually pretty good. It has that cured flavor. It's not bad for a snack. I don't think these sausages are meant to be eaten with a bun. They're meant to be eaten alone. If you eat these with garlic, it's probably pretty good, which they provide in your dish. Here's the garlic that they provide. Let's eat the garlic with the sausage. Wow, that makes a huge difference. Somehow that garlic cuts through the spiciness and adds a new dimension to it. It adds a freshness dimension to the sausage. I like it. If you're eating this sausage, definitely eat it with a bite of garlic. That's the way to go. Okay, the next dish that we ordered is a chicken leg bento. And as you can see, we got the entire chicken leg, which is the drumstick and the thigh. We also have some preserved vegetables, a tea egg, some boiled cabbage, and also what appears to be, wow, another piece of chicken and some Taiwanese sausage that appears to be deep fried. Also comes with the rice, with the sauce. I think this is the minced pork sauce. So this is the chicken leg bento, a single plate dish. The next dish I'm going to try is the chicken leg in the bento. They actually provided 2 drumsticks and 1 thigh. This is one of the drumsticks. Let's try this. What's interesting is that they deep fried this. There's no batter. And they sprinkled it with some kind of 5 spice or a combination of spices. It's pretty good. Good flavor. It goes perfectly with the sauce that they put over the rice and the chicken leg bento. What I can say about this chicken is that it depends, it relies on the spice that's sprinkled onto the fried chicken after it's been fried. And it's not bad. Look at this. Very well done. And you get 3 pieces. As I'm eating through the chicken leg railroad bento, I noticed that the sauce doesn't have as much meat as in other railroad bentos that I've had before. However, the sauce still tastes pretty good. It has a meaty flavor. The stock that they use gives it a nice meaty flavor. So maybe that's the reason why they don't put any minced meat into it, but it's still good. As I'm eating more of this stinky tofu, as you can see, it's very interesting. This stinky tofu, compared with other ones that I've had, isn't as stinky. That's a funny thing to say on this channel. It's actually, on a scale of 1 to 10, it rates a 5 on the stinkometer. Other stinky tofus that I've had range from a 7 to an 8. This one is actually super mild. For people who are afraid of stinky tofu, I think this is a good entry-level stinky tofu to eat. It's not that funky. Okay, the meal is over, and I'll share with you my thoughts about Eatery 19. What I can say about this place is that it's a privilege to have genuine Taiwanese food half an hour away from the Queens border. Anytime you leave Queens, you sort of say to yourself, can I find authentic food? And this place, I would say, is definitely authentic. Definitely the type of cuisine that you can find in Flushing, Queens, or in Manhattan. Now, we ordered a whole host of dishes. We have a lot of leftovers, to be honest. I couldn't possibly eat everything. I have to say, my absolute favorite dish was the 3-cup chicken. It has the aromatics, and they took the time to take the bones out, or they provided us with chicken without the bones. It was just delicious, and I know for a fact that in a day or two, that dish, that 3-cup chicken is still going to taste as good as day one. The next favorite dish that I liked was the oyster pancake. The sauce made everything. It just brought out all the greatness of the glutinous rice powder that was in the egg mix in the pancake. The next thing I really loved was the, not brisket, but the shank, the beef shank that was in the Taiwanese beef noodle. That was nice and tender, and parts of it were nice and crispy. You could taste some of that tendon. I love that flavor, and that beefy stock was first rate. Really like that. On the other side, the stinky tofu could have been a bit more funky. It was actually a bit mild to me. Could be done a little better, but if you are afraid of eating stinky tofu, this might be a good entree into that dish. And as for the other bentos are perfectly fine. They're standard You can find them at any Taiwanese restaurant. My companions who shared this meal with me today said that they were perfectly fine. That includes the fried chicken leg, that includes the watercress and tong choy with the beef. That dish had a nice sa cha flavor. So overall, I would say that this meal was excellent. We're so far out from Queens that we're here. We have the privilege of trying real Taiwanese food. If I were in the neighborhood again, in Syosset, I would come again. I want to thank everyone for watching the Minute Review Show. And as we go forward in time, I'm going to create many different playlists for you. The three major playlists that I want to point out to you are the New York City area Cantonese food playlist. I have it in the ending credits. And I also have the Manhattan, the Queens, and the Brooklyn Eats playlist. Right now, the Manhattan and the Queens lists are the longest. I also have a Long Island playlist. If you want to check those out, go to my channel page and click on them. I hope you're not disappointed. So thank you for watching this video, and until next time, I'll see you soon. The final bill before tip was $112.69.